There's a war being fought, and at the forefront you have truth, lies, and deceit. Will you stand for truth? Whose side are you really on? The lies? The truth? You be the judge. The Sphinx is over 18,000 years old. Who created it? Do you worship the sun? Or do you worship the sun? Hotep, brothers and sisters, the message I want to speak to y'all about today, it's been laid heavy on my heart due to the severity of our people. I'm not here to hurt you. I'm not here to tell you anything wrong but the truth. And my message today is there's a war being fought. Whose side are you on? Let me say that again. There's a war being fought. Whose side are you on? See, when you don't believe in the same program that the masses believe, they say you got a problem. But I'm here to tell you today, truth is the truth indeed, no matter if you accept it or not. See, when you're in prison, you got to adapt to the environment. And if you don't adapt, you begin to be devoured. And it's the same thing when it comes to matters of the mind. You ever heard of the saying, the mind is a terrible thing to waste? A lot of our good Christians is not using their God-given right to think. For example, theosis means God. Ology means the study of. Can you tell me, how can man study God? How could you attempt to do so? But ignorance is a disease that can be cured with right knowledge. I didn't say Bible knowledge, I said right knowledge. The Christian faith is a religion that's based on much older religions, and its rituals are direct descendants of Egyptian and pagan practices. See, before you can understand, you will have to know about the origins of this thing called Christianity. First, we're going to start with Alexander. They call him the Great, but there was nothing great about him. He came into Egypt and saw all the great works that the ancient Egyptians were doing, all of the schools of thought, astrology, science, and he wanted it for itself, being a European man of power. But it didn't work out for him as he planned it. They told him they couldn't give him this knowledge. It was only for their people. But the word got out on how great Egypt was. After he died, his kinsman and successor, Ptolemy I, also invaded Kemet, also known as Egypt. He wanted to be a god, just as the pharaohs in the past. He knew that he had to be initiated. But by who? Who was going to initiate him? Who was going to help him? But there always would be a sellout, just like it was in the allegorical book called the Bible. See, Judas betrayed Jesus for silver. And just like Judas betrayed Jesus, like I say, it's always a sellout. And Ptolemy found his sellout in Memphis, the priest at Memphis. But they wasn't selling out for obvious reasons. They were selling out because they was probably fearful of their life, because these were invaders. So they figured they're gonna tell them, they're gonna tell them certain things about this thing. They're gonna give him a little bit, maybe just to shut him up a little bit. They didn't give him all of it, but they gave him enough where he needed, where he felt sufficient enough where he can go on and carry on. See, Ptolemy saw all of the ancient gods and the pictures and the statues and were black. Some way, somehow, Ptolemy couldn't handle that. So he wanted them to create a statue, a god in his image. And that god that was in his image is named Serapis. And the elites and the generals of this thing, they call themselves bishops of Christ. I'm talking about millennia before the Christian era. How could this be? Let me tell you, this thing runs deep. That's why it's a war being fought. And I'm going to ask you, and I'm going to keep on asking you, whose side are you on? This statue, this so-called God, is the same image that they put for the image of Jesus Christ. The same image. How is this possible? See, they combined Apis and Osiris together and said he was the second Ptah. Worship me. No, they didn't worship him. They rejected him. But you got to remember, see, Ptolemy only had the priests at Memphis. He didn't have any of the other mystery schools in Kemet. So he killed and he burned down their schools and took their books as his own possession. The knowledge. And he compiled all of this into one library. Okay, let me give y'all some info on Serapis. Don't take my word for it. Look it up. See for yourself. Serapis is spelled Serapis. Some call him Kent. I meant that. Another thing, why did Emperor Theodosius destroy Serapis in the year 389 AD, which was considered a wonder and a site of pilgrimage for the Mediterranean world? Why? Why would he do that? Unless he is trying to hide the truth from the masses. See, he already knew what was going on. He already knew what happened in the year 325 AD. See, he destroyed this as 389 AD. 64 years after what happened at the Council of Nicaea. See, he didn't want this thing to be uncovered. That's why he was sent to destroy it. But like I said, the truth has a way of resurfacing. Find out the truth. Seek the origins because it really, really matters. This war, it's not a war with guns and knives. This is a war strictly for the mind. Peace, brothers and sisters. Hotel.